You see this article right here? It came out in November. Where's the time gone? But this article is bubkiss. Let me break it down. Techradar does not know the first thing about programming. This article is titled ChatGPT coded a game for me in seconds and I am simply astounded. And coders should be very worried. That clickbait happened. Techradar is attempting to get clicks and eyes on this video. So I do understand to a certain perspective that they are gonna hype things up and they are gonna make things more hype, more sudden, more shocking than they really should be. So you ask, Aaron, why are you mad? Well, this entire article is asking ChatGPT, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, for D40, I don't give a shit, to make a tic-tac-toe game, but instead of 3x3, it's 12x12. That's it. That's what we should be afraid about. That's freaking, that is dumb. That is very, very dumb. Whoever their editor is should have vetoed this. The game has 5 rules. Place an X or an O, alternating back and forth for 2-player functionality, check for full spaces, and then check for victory. The only thing he changes in this game is the size of the board, which is just a simple integer change in the check victory function in the board holder thingy. Techradar refers to this as college level programming, but that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. This is not college level programming. This is like intro to scratch programming. This is lower than programming 101. Now, Lance is not a programmer, a teacher, nor does he rely on any recognizable authority to back up his claim. We are firmly in the trust me bro territory. I'd like to take a moment to tell everyone listening that Lance, like I just said, is not a coder. He's a journalist, nor did he go to a college to become a coder, and ignorance is a valid defense. If you engage with Techradar or Lance, you should only point out the flaws in this article and the obvious lack of understanding. You need to be nice and recognize that journalism is an important part of our society, and all he has to do to make this right, all Techradar has to do, is pull this from the internet and never see it again. When I was in college, my third programming class in my sophomore year was data structures. Data structures was mostly about a project class, and one of the projects was simply to make the game Battleship in C++ using the command line GUI. We had to use a data structures to hold the information on both of the 2 boards for player 1 and player 2. Use a constructor to place the ships into their locations, into the data structures you just made. And so I had to code in the functionality for 2 players, level generation functions, hit and miss functionality, victory conditions, using all the correct data structures and meeting code standards for that class. At the time, that I thought that was a very tall task, and it was kind of complicated. I struggled through that. I had to go get help from AI is not on the precipice of superseding game devs. It's barely on the precipice of outperforming junior game devs in simple tasks. It is a tool. Games are complex, interwoven pieces of code. For example, in my game Corralling Cats, the game manager has more than 6 scripts attached to it, and those sub-managers have all of them, at least 3 or more scripts attached to them, and other scripts yet talk to those managers and sub-managers to do things. Sometimes the scripts at the bottom of the pile will ask the game manager to execute a command, and it'll tell one of its lackeys who oversees the command to do that. So we have like 3 or 4 level of scripts, all looking for triggers and commands to execute other commands. All of that so a cat can move on a board in just the right way when an item is placed to feel as satisfying as possible. This is a simple puzzle game with a few thousand lines of code. It's a small game. How on earth is a data program, and by the way, this is just math. It just uses a complex formula to predict the next thing. Most of the time it's words, but sometimes it's code. How is that going to keep literal hundreds of lines of code in its mind in a way to go, oh, yeah, we want to do that up there and do that up here. So the cat moves left and right when it's supposed to. Lance makes these sweeping claims that the AI has come so far in 20 months, and it did finish where it DNF'd last time. In the article, he explains that he was not able to get tic tac toe running in HTTPS. But as we have gone over, Lance lacks the critical knowledge or proof that this is anything but a few minor alterations to code that already exists on the internet. This is CS 101 shit. I bet right now I could go online and just find somebody's pre-made uh tic-tac-toe game or maybe even pre-made battleship game and just pull it and make the board bigger and it would just work. It's just a couple of integer changes. Just for a glimpse of what a real college senior can put together, we're talking about me, by the way. In my capstone project, we had 5 different mini games: bitmap level generation, scripted levels, story levels, a character controller, dialogue logic, pathing and searching for an AI, shop upgrades, and we did all of this over the course of 2 semesters, and most of the work was done by about 10 people working 6 hours every week. That's not very much time, and our budget was a big goose egg, zero. Besides our time, that is. Now, what do I want? This article should be retracted. It's at best incorrect hype writing, and I wouldn't be so charitable to it. AI is largely marketing hype. General intelligence is not on the horizon. We have no proof of it. And miraculous claims require miraculous proof. We do not give a shit what Sam Altman says. He is actively benefiting from AI hype. He is incentivized to lie. No, just because DeepSeek AI cheated off of OpenAI's work and apparently that actually works better, which is super interesting if you want to look into that. No, that does not mean AI is about to dominate the world. It is a tool, it cannot think. Most of them cannot even learn live. I hope you have a nice day.